Now go ahead, give the answer also. See, I did not record. So I will repeat all the questions one more time, okay? Again, this is a story about a village boy in Gloucester in the west of England, okay? Now, in this story, they tell how it was the first day of Laurie Lee. He is a writer, he has become a writer now, and how he spent his first day at school. In question number one, the humor in the story was that the teacher asked him that, just sit down here and we are going to and wait for your present. So the child thought that he was going to get a present, and then when he did not get a physical present, present means a gift also. So he was upset when he went home. Question number two, what kind of education did the children receive in the village school? In the village school, they received, facts, a jumbled list of wars and dreamy images of world geography. Is paragraph one. So basically, what they are talking about that they did not get good quality education. They got a jumbled list of wars and a dreamy image of the world geography. They did not physically understand what geography was, and they did not understand why people are fighting wars. Because in Islam we fight only for Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, but they are fighting, fighting, fighting. Then how do we know? Then question number three. Question number three, how do we know that Laurie was reluctant to go to school? So I gave you 3 points. First, he argued with his teachers. Numbers. Yes. First, he argued with his sisters. First, he argued with his sisters. Number two, he had to be carried. He had to be carried to the road so that he can go. And then third, finally, the sisters frightened him by telling him a frightening story about boys who do not go to school. Then question number four, how did Laurie's sister frighten the little brother into going into school? They said that these boys, it is the last two lines of paragraph 2. So sisters told him that boys who don't go to school get put into boxes and turned into rabbits and get chopped up on Sunday. So this is the answer to question number 4. Then what happened to question number 5? What happened to Laurie when he was in the playground? See, when he went to the playground, there were tall boys and girls, and it was very loud, and they played with him, and they spun him around. They plucked at his scarf. The last paragraph number 3, last line. There are many things that you can add there if you like, but there were things. What happened to him? They plucked at his scarf, spun him around like a top, screwed his nose, and stole his potato. Okay, last two lines. This is what happened to Laurie Lee in the playground. That they plucked at his scarf, they spun him around like a top, screwed his nose, and stole his potato. Number 6. Why does Laurie say he does not want to go to school? Again, he said he did not want to go to school because the teacher did not give him a present, a gift which he had promised. Number 7. How did Laurie's attitude to school to the final paragraph change? See, after he went, anything you do, when you try it for some time, then you get used to it. First day, he had no friends, nobody there. So now, when he went on the, for week, 2 weeks, so he became like a veteran. Veteran means experienced person. Veteran means in the last paragraph, it says, I felt like a veteran. He felt like a veteran, that he was an experienced person, and he became ruthless. and he knew how to do, and then he stole somebody else's potato also with an apple. Question number 8. How does Laurie's teacher teach him? So, how did they teach them? Read paragraph 5. The infant room was packed with toys such as I have never seen before. Eh? Help him teach. Na? This is what it is that they about it. The teacher help. How does the teachers help him? Okay, from the playground. Okay, the question is how does Laurie's teacher help him in the playground? It will become easier then. So final answer, who wants to answer? Easy answer. See paragraph 4, it says here, nobody wants to answer. Paragraph 4, it says, I was rescued at last by a gracious lady, the 16-year-old junior teacher who boxed a few years and dried my face and led me off to the infants. The infants is the name of the class, just like in our school we have the toddlers. I am a jumpstart toddler having fun. So this is infants. They are calling it the infants. You can call your class, your school, whatever you want to call it. So the answer is that a gracious lady, a 16-year-old junior teacher, boxed a few years of the boys and the girls who were bothering the child and wiped out his face, dried my face because most probably he was crying. So this is why he dried out the face and then took him to the class, the infants. Everybody clear? Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. So for the people who are not here Muhammad Ali Ghori, let's read from the beginning again, autobiography. We have 4 minutes. Let's see how much you read. But read it nicely and clearly. Faraj is saying thumbs up. Oh, he has learned it. Very good, Faraj. Well done.
Autobiography. The following text comes from The Cider with Rosie, the autobiography of Laurie Lee, the poet and writer who was born in 1914. He was born in a steep valley in Slade in rural Gloucestershire in the west of England, where his mother struggled to look after large family. Laurie Lee describes his first day at the village school. Paragraph 1. The village school at the time provided all the instructions we were likely to ask for. It was a small stone barn divided by a wooden partition into two rooms. The infants and the big ones, there was one dame teacher and perhaps a young girl assistant. Every child in the valley crowding there remained until he was 14 years old, then was presented to the working field or factory with nothing in his head more troubles more troublesome than a jumbled list of wars and a dreamy image of the world's geography. Paragraph 2. The morning came without any warning. When my sisters surrounded me, wrapped me in scarves, tied up my bootlaces, thrust a cap on my head, and stuffed a baked potato in my pocket. What's this? I said. You are starting school today. I'm stopping home. Now come on, lol. You are a big boy now. I and you are boohoo. They picked me up bodily, kicking and bawling, and carried me up the road. Boys who don't go to school get put into boxes and turned into rabbits and get chopped up on Sundays, they said. Paragraph 3. I felt this was overdoing it rather, but I said no more after that. I arrived at the school just 3 feet tall and fatty, wrapped in scarves. Playground road like a rodeo, and the potato burned through my thigh. Old boots, ragged stocking, torn trousers, and skirts went my skating and skidding around me. The rebel closed in. I was encircled. Grit flew in my face like shrapnel. Tall girls with frizzled hair and huge boys with sharp elbows began to prod me with hideous interest. They plucked at my scarves, spun me round like a top, screwed my nose, and stole my potato. Paragraph 4. I was rescued at last by a gracious lady, the 16 years old junior teacher who boxed a few years and dried my face and led me off to the infants. I spent that first day picking holes in paper and then went home in a smoldering temper. What's the matter, lol? Didn't we like it at school then? They never gave me the present. Present? What present? They said they'd give me a present. Well, now, I'm sure they didn't. They did. They said, "You are loyally, aren't you? Well, you just sit there for the present." I sat there all day, but I never got it. I ain't. I ain't going back there again. Paragraph 5. But after a week, I felt like a veteran and grew as